first music I ever remember listening to was like show music, you know, like show tune music. My dad was born in the 1930s, and he grew up listening to, you know, like Al Jolson and you know, Hammerstein and Gershwin and that kind of stuff. That's the first music I ever really remember taking to.
Many years ago, lived the wife of Happy Rip Van Winkle.
I really like Danny Kaye movies, like The Inspector General and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I remember I really loved. A lot of old movies. I liked, like the Marx Brothers. I really liked. I remember liking Woody Allen movies from a really young age, even though I didn't understand them. My favorite cities in the world. New York City. It's the greatest city in the world, and all that kind of stuff.
Chapter 1. He adored New York City. He idolized it all out of proportion.
Mexico is kind of fascinating to me, I think, because, like, I'm Canadian, and I think one of the big differences, people ask what's the differences between being American and being Canadian. I think one of the big differences is that Canadians don't know much about Mexico, whereas Americans do, because they live in a society that's really integrated with Mexican people and with Mexican society. But Canada doesn't have that. There's a restaurant I really like in Mexico City called, I don't know if I'm saying it right, I think it's called La Ostra. Like, the oyster, I guess? I really like that restaurant, you know, because, you know, people would ask me, do I like Mexican food? And the only Mexican food I've ever really had before I ever came to Mexico is the Mexican food you get in, like, Texas, or, like, the Mexican food you get in Toronto, which is worse than the Mexican food you get in Texas. And it's all, like, just, like, beans and slop. It's just, like, beans and cheese and sour cream. And it's just like slop, and I was like, I hate Mexican food. And then I came to Mexico, and the Mexican food was nothing like that. You know, it was like these fish tacos with cilantro and lemons, and I was like, I love this. You know. Recently, I've had this weird thing where I got really into the Hammer Studios horror films, which I had seen a few of when I was younger. But now I've seen, like, all of them. So it's like all the Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing monster movies. I think, like, some part of me is like, that's the same appeal of synthesizer music and electronic music is the same part of it is what, like, science fiction. But my favorite science fiction movies? Well, it'd be hard to choose. I mean, if I had to choose one, it would probably be Solaris or Stalker, the Tarkovsky movies. I do think that music has a huge role to play in films, you know, like, I don't think the Sergio Leone movies would be anything without the Morricone soundtracks. I don't think that, you know, that kind of thing. You know, and, like, my last two albums have been dedicated to or based on two different filmmakers. Like, my third album was kind of influenced by a sort of somewhat unknown Canadian animator named Norman McLaren. And my last album, although to a much less extent, was inspired a lot by Orson Welles. I, you know, went to school, and then I went to university, and I did a degree in computers, and I did another degree in literature, and I never expected that I was going to do music.